Assalamualaikum students. Today we discuss the question answers of chapter 1 for class 2nd year the dying sun. Question number 1 is what is the size of the stars in the space? And the answer is the stars in the space are very large. Some of them are so large that hundreds and thousands of earth could be packed inside each and leaves room to spare. This shows the huge size of stars in the space. Second question is what is the number of the stars in the space? And the answer is the number of stars in the space is not almost countable. The total number of stars in the space is almost equal to the total number of grains of sand on all the seashores of the world. We can imagine the number of stars in the space from this example. Question number 3 is how much big our home in space is? And the answer is the writer says that our earth is very little in space if we measure up the total substance of the universe. Question number 4 is how do the stars travel in space? And the answer is uncountable stars are wandering about in space. Some stars journey in company or groups, but most of them travel alone. Question number 5 is what rare event took place 2000 years age? And the answer is a strange event took place some 2000 years ago. It also happened that a wandering star came very near to our sun. It rose huge tides on the surface of the sun. Question number 6 is why do the stars not come near to each other? And the answer is the universe is very vast. There is a distance of millions of miles between two stars. Therefore, it is impossible for one star to come nearer to another star. Question number 7 is how did our earth come into being? And the answer is about 2000 million years ago an uncommon incident took place. A star came near the sun. It raised tides on its surface. The tides gathered in a mountain. Then the mountain was torn into pieces due to the pull. The pieces were scattered into space. Our earth is one of them. Question number 8 is what are planets and how did they come into being? And the answer is the planets are moving body in space. They are great and small. They come into being as a result of the explosion of the mountain of the waves. Our earth is also a planet. Question number 9 is which thing raised huge tides on the surface of the sun? A wandering star came near the sun. It raised very huge tides on the surface of the sun. It formed a big mountain. Question number 10 is what happened when the wandering star came nearer the sun? And the answer is when the wandering star came nearer the sun, the mountain on the surface of the sun rose higher and higher. Question number 11 is what happened when the wandering star began to move away from the sun? And the answer is when the wandering star began to move away from the sun, its tidal pull became so powerful that the mountain of gaseous matter was torn to pieces. These pieces were scattered into the space, though these pieces are called planets. Question number 12 is what are planets and how did they came into existence? And the answer is the wandering star pulled some matter from the surface of the sun. It scattered in the space. The small pieces of this matter became planets. Question number 13 is what happened to the heat of planets? And the answer is the heat of the planets cooled down gradually. Some of the planets had very little heat of their own in them. Question number 14 is why is there no life on the sun and the other stars? And the answer is life is not possible on the sun and the other stars. Life needs some suitable conditions. These are present there. Question number 15 is how do the planets get their warmth? And the answer is most of the planets do not have their own warmth. They get their warmth from the radiation of the sun. Question number 16 is how was the life born on the earth? One of the cooling pieces of the sun gave birth to life. First of all, simple organisms were produced. Lastly, human beings were born. Question number 17 is what we feel when we try to discover the nature and purpose of the universe. When we try to discover the purpose of the universe, our feeling is something like fear. Question number 18 is what is our first feeling? And the answer is our first feeling is fear. We are frightened of the universe because of its vastness, immense a distance, stretches of time, littleness of our home in space, and having no sign of earthly life. Question number 19 is how much little is our home in space? And the answer is our home in space is very little. It is a millionth part of a grain of sand out of all the sea sand in the world. We can imagine the littleness of our earth in space from this example. Question number 20 is in which belts is life possible? Answer is life can exist only in The stars throw heat, the space has cooling, the temperature remains normal. These are temperature belts. Question number 31 is why do the stars not strike to one another? And the answer is the stars do not collide with one another because they have millions of miles distance between them. Question number 32 is how simple were the organisms in the beginning? And the answer is in the beginning organisms are very simple, whose living power consisted chiefly in their being able to reproduce themselves before dying. Question number 33 is what does James Jeans mean by a collection of fires? And the answer is James Jeans thinks of stars as a collection of fires scattered through space. And these are the all questions of chapter 1. Thanks for watching.